conservation. Pass.
All right, can I have my paper? How many did you fail? So that is, you scored? 7. Oh, you already know your score. Thank you. We are going to tally and we see which people are coming for the finals.
The very low reproduction rates of 1 calf per female every 8 years, elephant populations recover more slowly than many other animals. The elephant population therefore needs to be protected. For several years, Wildlife Conservation Society has worked with other stakeholders to address elephant conservation challenges and threats in the country by studying elephants.
Studying elephants in Makshan Falls National Park is to understand their feeding ecology, the movement patterns is very important for us to identify the important corridors and also the preferred habitats so that we can protect them.
You have tied with the other institute and we need 2 people. So you are going to have 3 more questions of the same nature as the ones you just had. Only 3 questions, 3 minutes. Do you have a paper? You were 4, and we already have 1, and we need the second one. The second, we need, so we have number 1. We have a tie of number 2 and number 3, and then we have number 4. Okay? So we need to sort them out, and we have a clear 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Three minutes, we go. Each question is 1 minute. So you're having 3 questions.
Forestation.
5 seconds.
Monstrous. Monstrous.
Okay, and the next one.
Solar. Solar.
Okay. You can bring back the paper and go out. Thank you.
aba ava bakija batwegesa bagamba tushemerere kulinda eby'obuhangwa.
We identified those 7 parishes which are along the border of the national park, and we are focusing specifically on the plants which are still abundant. We focus on the plants which are diminishing and the plants which are extirpated.
harimo imiti y'amani munonga yo kushanga nk'abantu barimo ibibazo kankita abo kushanga urabatasha umusigo takachimana.
So you're going to have 3 questions, and you have only 3 minutes, so each is 1 minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, the same as the previous questions, the last ones you just had. So let's start. Wait, okay.
Bugoma. Budongo. Mpanga.
Okay, thank you. Can I have my paper? You can go out and wait for the announcements.
Five 5,000 chimpanzees still live in Uganda. But danger surrounds them. A growing demand for charcoal and firewood is shrinking their habitat every day. And in the last years, chimps have even begun to leave the forests in search of food, creating deadly conflicts with farmers. But there is a different side to this story. In Uganda, some people are turning away from charcoal and new forests are growing. They're setting up tree nurseries, teachers are talking about the environment in classrooms, and high-efficiency stoves are being built. And throughout the country, chimps are being rescued. We want to tell the story of how the Jane Goodall Institute, hundreds of villages throughout Uganda, and millions of Ecosia users are restoring the home of our closest living relatives. While Uganda's cities ever increase the demand for charcoal, there are signs of hope. In the western district of Hoima, we met Moses, who manages one of Ecosia's tree nurseries. When we pulled up, he was watering a bed of saplings. But we soon discovered that he wasn't always the chimp-loving forest defender that he is today.
Back in the year around 2011, I was truly a charcoal producer. But as time goes on, trees were getting finished. The primates, the animals, were actually taking off, running away from where they were because nature has been really totally cut down. Actually, when I came into my senses that charcoal was not benefiting me financially. Secondly, I was doing a disservice to my community. By felling down a tree, that's a very big disservice. By coming to seedling production, and then I found myself into senses of getting some money to support myself and the community. Currently, everybody wants to plant trees. Last year, we planted over 30,000 trees around the riverines. Imagine a child of 5 years having 10 trees. That's great. Now, whenever free days come, like in weekends, they visit my nice nursery site. We pot with them, they water for me the seedlings. At the end, I give them seedlings back at home to go and plant.
Moses taught us that you can't protect Uganda's chimps on your own. And to help him find the best planting locations and to make sure that his trees wouldn't be cut down, we've partnered with the Jane Goodall Institute. Jane Goodall is the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees, and she's dedicated her life to protecting them and their natural habitat.
The work that the Jane Goodall Institute does in Uganda, it's twofold really. One, it's about educating young people to understand the importance of trees. So there's a lot of planting of trees in schools. That's where I planted a good many trees, and helping young people understand the whole CO2 sequestration and how the trees hold water in the land. We have some wonderful demonstrations showing how when you bring trees back, it actually does bring a flow of water back to a place that was dried. And then the second one is the importance of planting trees to establish corridors between forest patches so that the chimpanzees can actually move as they used to from one forest patch to another.
Thanks to the corridors that we're planting with Jane Goodall, chimps can roam from one forest to the next, whether they're foraging or searching for mates. And the new trees have one further advantage. they are bringing water back.
I am Joram Basema. I am a father to 15 and I am married to one wife. In 1996, we cleared all the trees. In that time, the waters started decreasing slowly by slowly until when it dried up. We were very interested in knowing what would have gone wrong. This water source of yours dried out. Probably you cut down the trees, you cut off the whole forest. I planted bananas. In bananas, I planted coffee, and around we planted some avocado trees. So as they grew, as the trees grew, the waters started to come again. Since 2011 to date, the water has never dried up again.
A few miles down the road from Joram, we met Claire. Claire's a nurse who volunteers as a forest monitor and looks after the trees that Ecosia is planting with the Jane Goodall Institute. We spent an afternoon with her checking for illegal logging in a section of forest that was once chimp territory. And in that time, she taught us how forests can heal the land and its people.
The young people, for them, they think that's how the world is. They don't know how it was before. But again, these other old people do tell us, no, that one was not there before. The environment was cool, we would receive normal rains, but the young generation, for them, that's how they found it and that's how it is supposed to be. Some will tell you that school fees. We cut the forest down, we want to plant rice and get school fees. But again, you try also to explain to them, leave the forest standing, use these other new methods of farming, join business saving groups, you'll get school fees for your children. So people now are trying to wake up their minds. If we kept our forest standing and we leave these streams flowing as usual, life would be good and interesting.
"5,000 chimpanzees still live in Uganda. But with people like Claire, Joram, Moses, and Ecosia users like you, there is hope. The trees that you help us plant are not just a new home for the chimpanzees, they also create livelihoods, empower women, and restore the water cycle. Thank you, Ecosians.
climate change is assuming critical proportions. If the present generation fails to handle this threat as boldly and swiftly as possible, then we risk our coming generations to an irreparable catastrophe. Let's accept this reality and work towards preventing it.
Roots and Shoots builds on the vision of Dr. Jane Goodall, where decision-making for creating practical solutions to big challenges is in the hands of young people to ensure that every individual leaves primary school with a good basic understanding about our environment so that they are able to raise concern for wildlife and nature conservation all over the world.
The very low reproduction rates of one calf per female every 8 years, elephant populations recover more slowly than many other animals. The elephant population therefore needs to be protected. For several years, Wildlife Conservation Society has worked with other stakeholders to address elephant conservation challenges and threats in the country by studying elephants.
Studying elephants in Action Falls National Park is to understand their feeding ecology, the movement patterns is very important for us to identify the important corridors and also the preferred habitats so that we can protect them.
I'm Joshua, I'm a research coordinator at WCS. This is Action Falls National Park. We monitor wildlife here, including elephants and lions, and we do this snaring where we remove wire snares settled by poachers to save wildlife here.
I'm John Bosco Kilama. I'm a driver in WCS. I help field team in the Maxon Falls where we encounter poacher, and we help also in removing wire snares and monitoring the lions and elephants.
Use of snares to hunt animals for bushmeat is a challenge in Africa's protected areas. While the snares target smaller animals like antelopes, they also entrap, maim, and endanger other wildlife, including the pillar of Africa's ecosystem, the elephant.
Elephants are wide-ranging species which can traverse the landscape for covering a distance of about 100 kilometers or so. That means that we are able to think in terms of the actual home, the ecological range within which we need to protect the species. And once you protect them, then you're likely to protect other species that survive within that particular geographical range. They also support the dispersal of seeds of tree species. They modify the landscapes, beautify by yanking the trees and that helps to create suitable environment or habitats for other species that graze and browse trees, like the antelopes, the Uganda kobe, for example, the waterbuck, the bushbuck.
ava bakija batwegesa bagamba tushemerere kulinda eby'obuhangwa.
We identified those 7 parishes which are along the border of the national park, and we are focusing specifically on the plants which are still abundant. We focus on the plants which are diminishing and the plants which are extirpated.
Alimo emiti egi ey'amaani munonga y'okushanga nk'abantu balema emibazi kwenkito ab'okushanga oraba tashomisibwa takachimani.
Most of the endangered species in the communities had been cut down. From their training, we came to learn that these were noble medicines.
I received Mississippi tree seedlings, over 100. When they grow up, you can easily convert them into timbers. So if you are building, there is no need to again encroach on the forest.
Beto nya vestingire gwa kabiri nka yamulita mukaga bulilite munya kiguzaga amutwaro gumugumu twafuna kasende kandi kakwebesawo koguramu basabuno munyo tiyo ntuwerawo batatulekeera batungire mamane muno.
We had a training to ensure that communities are able to reap good money out of this project.
We started with few activities. One was the nursery bed, to give them free seedlings so that they can plant more trees.
So that we plant where we destroy the forest. We told them our problems we were facing. I said, now since we are facing a problem of school fees, let us assist you by paying school fees.
The big forest categories decided to give them 500,000 per term, and the small forest categories we gave them 250,000 shillings per term.
Loni yabandize ekaberi ejibatwaira as a group ekaba miliyoni 7 nyagura enkoko 10 nyazorora kumara amezi 6 zatandika kubika hati nyatandika kuyaga sente omahuli ninzigaraga nkaha ombyokulya.
twalaga ngeri nyingi zino gwe avunaanyizibwa n'ekicuuka kino. Ekicuuka kino kikaba kirimu emiti kandi kiri kibira baitu abo abantu okutooza enku hamu n'okukola amakala batumaramu ekicuuka muno. Kandi ekicuuka kino kikaba kiri ekicuuka ekikulinda ebisolo halimu engeyi, enkende n'ebiteera baitu abo okutuula nti emiti yatemwamu yagwamu ebisolo ebyo basobola kuba nibituuka mu kitugamu. Habw'ensonga egi nitukula mu kasumi kano tulimu tugezaho okugaala aho ekisaka kino wekibira kandi n'okulinda obuhangwa. Tusiima muno aba JGI aba One Tree Planted abakuhereza embibo zino ez'emiti okulola twagaala aho obuhangwa kandi n'okuligaruka okulinda ebisolo byaitu kola byagaruka mu kicuuka kino.
Hakabamo emiti ebiteera niho biikara. Tukusiima JGI habw'okutuha ensigo eno eyitukubyara kandi tukyabyara habw'okuba omusana guli mwingi nikyo tukusenserera kandi ntusiima muno habw'okutuheereza ensigo. Mwebale muno. Ninsiima muno JGI habw'okutuheereza embibo enu kugaaraho obuhangwa. Nkubasiima muno, mwebale muno.
Planted these trees for the purpose of improving onto our environment. We had the forest, but people degraded it, and also we had the chimpanzees which could feed in this forest. But we thank the JGI and One Tree Planted for providing us with the indigenous trees.
Uganda, for her natural and wildlife resources, is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Budongo and Bugoma Central Forest Reserves is one of the largest forest reserves in Uganda, covering 120,000 hectares. This forest cover is home to a number of flora and fauna. Chimpanzees are one of the inhabitants of this forest. The communities here largely depend on this forest for their daily supply of wood fuel to use for cooking their meals at home. Competition for the dwindling resources has aggravated the human-wildlife conflict with incidences of crop destruction, sometimes fatal chimpanzee attacks on humans, and retaliatory attacks on the chimpanzees by humans.
Sometime around 2005, we realized that if we continued just working at protecting and securing the protected areas, we would not succeed. And that is when we came up with a suite of different problems, because now we're dealing directly with the balance between socioeconomic needs and conservation needs. The Jane Goodall Institute, together and in partnership with the Environmental Conservation Trust of Uganda, EcoTrust, and the Chimpanzee Trust, established a Human-Wildlife Conflict Resilience Fund, first piloting it in Kasongo Parish in Masindi District.
Our intervention did not exclusively to reduce the conflict. The point was coexistence. So to coexist, instances of crop raid must exist. Of course, the issue of injuries totally went down because people learned how to live with the chimpanzees.
With funds from Uganda Biodiversity Fund, Jane Goodall Institute implemented a community-owned quasi-insurance fund stemming from a community-based savings and credit scheme.
So far we have supported 19 families and we have used several enterprises. At least we have used 8 boer goats, 5 pigs, 1,000 banana thakas. Then we have also used the chili seeds and the sunflower seeds we got to support the people at the edge of the forest.
okuruga obunyahindukire okubyara bikyoli nyagaruka kubyara sunflower na soya bean ebitakutaliribanizibwa enkobe hati nkuhura nsemereirwe muno nyino obusinge bwingi ebisoro ebi bino bugabe tibine kibikujja kuseerayo muno aherukuru
bakampereza embuzi eri nto muno saha zino embuzi yange yatwaire endayo kubanza ekazaara mbuzi ibiri mu kono gumu nkagaba enkazi nyasigaza empaya nenyina wayo tokuba tugaba enkazi nosigaza empaya.
We have had 2 cases whereby chimpanzees fail in man traps, but the community members alerted us, something which was not there at first.
Corridor forest really must be protected and must be conserved to realize migratory routes for these animals so that the pressure is kind of shifted. People should not remain with the same pressure of the primates and the other animals in the same place year in, year out.
And we're glad to note that the Uganda Wildlife Authority is borrowing a leaf from this, and this has probably influenced the recently released policy, where such a model is also going to be scaled out at national level.
We will learn from the lessons from this human-wildlife conflict and then be able to introduce different modified versions to the different areas, depending on what kind of biodiversity needs to be introduced. But we also have to know that the communities also are looking for livelihood. So making sure that they learn how to derive their livelihood without destroying the environment around them is one of the key things that we must work on if we have to protect biodiversity going forward.
We hope that one day humans and wildlife will coexist together in harmony.
"5,000 chimpanzees still live in Uganda. But danger surrounds them. A growing demand for charcoal and firewood is shrinking their habitat every day. And in the last years, chimps have even begun to leave the forests in search of food, creating deadly conflicts with farmers. But there is a different side to this story. In Uganda, some people are turning away from charcoal and new forests are growing. They're setting up tree nurseries, teachers are talking about the environment in classrooms, and high-efficiency stoves are being built. And throughout the country, chimps are being rescued. We want to tell the story of how the Jane Goodall Institute, hundreds of villages throughout Uganda, and millions of Ecosia users are restoring the home of our closest living relatives. While Uganda's cities ever increase the demand for charcoal, there are signs of hope. In the western district of Hoima, we met Moses, who manages one of Ecosia's tree nurseries. When we pulled up, he was watering a bed of saplings. But we soon discovered that he wasn't always the chimp-loving forest defender that he is today.
Back in the year around 2011, I was truly a charcoal producer, but As time goes on, trees were getting finished. The primates, the animals, were actually taking off, running away from where.
The first, then the first run-up and the second run-up, okay? You're all winners at this stage. So be happy that you have reached this stage, okay? So we are going for the final round. We have 10 questions. And this time, they are sounds. So listen very carefully. You have only one chance to try. There is no passing. The questions are the same, so there is no saying that this group got, we biased this group, we gave them cheaper questions, and we gave the other one a hard question, okay? The rules are simple. When they play the sound only once, if you know the answer, you step forward here. Immediately, the first person to step forward will be the one to get a chance to answer. If you step here when you're two, we shall give papers, and you go and write your answer down. Don't mention it. If you're the only one here first, whoever steps first, if you step at the same time too, then we give you papers to write the answer. Are we together? If you're the only one, you can mention the answer, and we move on. If it's failed, there is no passing. No pass. Are we together? Is it clear? Are we together, my friend? He's very annoyed. Yes, please.
The sound you're talking of, is it to determine the sound of the animal, or how, when you speak it, which animal can be called starting with that sound?
They are animal sounds. So we want you to mention the name of the animal that makes that sound. Is it clear? Clear? Yes, please.
All right, thank you. So what are we testing? The speed at which we shall get in front, or because one may go a step forward, and when I'm a bit slower. So what do you do about that?
If you're slow, then you're not the first. We are saying the first one to step in front. The first one, you move. If one, for us we'll be seeing, everyone is there watching, okay? You're also watching, you'll see who has gone first. Don't be biased with your institution. We need objectivity in this last round, okay? Be as objective and mature as possible.
I'm suggesting this. In examinations, I think speed is not a determinant. As long as what I'm going to answer at a later time is correct. I would suggest that give us like a minute, we step there, you give us papers, then we write our answers.
In Nkumba, how many minutes do you take to answer a question? After 3 hours, don't they take away the question paper? So you have to time yourself. This is now cutting across. It's for all of you. It's the rule for all of you. After the sound, okay. Okay. Let the sound play.
My request is...
After 5 seconds, the first person to step in front. As simple as that. Within the first 5 seconds, really. We cannot give more than a minute, really. We have 10 questions, and we are time-barred.
I request.
Yes, please.
Request that every institution is given a chance of a sound. When you fail, it's not passed. When you fail, you fail. Then you give another institution.
No.
Because sound, I may not be that fast. And yet I know the thing.
This is, it's a thing we are subjecting to all of you, right? Are you okay with it? Are you okay with it? What is the problem with Nkumba? To understand what? Yes, my dear, you say it clearly. What do you want to understand? But you're being subjected to the same. You see, we are trying to be as objective as possible. We don't want bias. We don't want someone to say, you see, they were segregative. They only favored the other team. We are giving you the same rules. If two institutions are okay with it, why is Nkumba objecting?
It is okay. We continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Are we okay? We are, yes, please.
Yeah, thank you for that. Maybe to ask, what about if two people from this side and other three here and other maybe, and we all know the answer of what is the category of awarding marks? You get me, madam? I can.
One person from you guys will cocoon and tell us. One person will have to write. One person would have to write. All the group is okay? Write the answer that you have. If you're all contradicting each other, it's okay. You discuss, you decide which one. Which problem? Yes, please, sir. Can you give him the mic? There is a problem. Where
the problem is, the thing is like this. What my colleague suggested is right. Let every institution enter on its time. You ask a question, they move out, then you ask her, and
No. There is this time it's all the same because this thing of going out.
Guys, people.
It's the same conditions now. Assuming you're in the jungle, the rules of survival are the same. Survival of the fittest. Okay? We are in the jungle. This is conservation. It's survival of the fittest. If you can't run and hide from the lion, let it eat you.
Let's just follow their instructions, please.
Yes. Yes, come. This time, we are going to adapt to the rules. This is a jungle. The fittest will survive. The weak is going to be eaten. I'm sorry, that's evolution. It works like that. There's no bending the rules for one. Okay, thank you. Are we ready? It's going to play only once, so listen very carefully.
K for buffalo. K for buffalo.
Buffalo, that is which institution?
Tourism Institute of East Africa.
Put it there. Can you tell us what you wrote?
Lion.
Can you put the institute? What did you write?
Lion.
Can you? Nkumba. Yes. Can you give us the answer?
Yes, it's a lion roar.
All right. So 1-1 for Nkumba and where's the paper? Okay. Hey, do you have more papers? You write behind. When it's your turn. Nkumba. Listen carefully for the second sound. Listen carefully, please. After that, discuss together. You're alone, sorry. Give me the paper. The name of the institution on your paper, please make sure it's there. You have to write properly. I can't tell you if you are done. When they're done, you're going to be the first one to sign. You're done? Oh, it's the upper one. Okay, we start with Nkumba.
Goose.
Pass it on.
Cheetah.
Young elephant.
Yes, Rita.
Those were cheetah meows.
So, no, there is a mark. These guys have passed it. It's cheetah.
Hey, cheetah.
It's cheetah. We are going to for number 3. Yes, please. Close. Discuss. Time up. Write it down. You're done writing it down? Yes?
Shoebill stock. Shoebill.
Give them.
Shoebill stock.
Rita, over to you.
It was a shoebill stock.
Fantastic. Continue. Next.
spotted hyena.
Chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee. It was actually a zebra. They bark.
Next.
Bees.
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 Let's go next. You're thinking from in front, that's not acceptable.
Warthog.
White colobus monkey.
Black and white colobus monkey. Black and white colobus monkey.
Yes.
It is the black and white colobus monkey.
So one for this thing. It's black and white. You pronounced it, but you wrote it wrongly. No, it's there, black and white. I've seen it. They have given you one. It's already distinguished for you. Colobus monkey, as long as it's written there. Colobus, yes.
Buffaloes.
Lion. Lion.
Buffalo.
An ostrich.
Yes. Rita next. Time up. write and hand over the papers.
Whistling duck. Whistling duck.
It's a monkey. A red-tailed monkey.
Jackals.
It's a gibbon.
No, apes are not monkeys. Monkeys are not apes. No. A gibbon is different. You would have called it a chimp. Yes, next, Rita.
A warthog.
A warthog.
Leopard.
Howler monkeys. Howler monkeys.
How many are we left with? The last one. The final sound. Listen carefully. The ones behind you whisper very sweet yourselves, not to the front people. No, it's once there was no pardon. You stood in front for what? My dear, the rules were simple. Once. 2 seconds.
Peacock.
A cheetah.
Donkeys. Donkeys. It's a tree hyrax.
A tree hyrax. They live in the forest. Very tiny like rabbits, but with a very loud voice. Hyrax. One of those nocturnal animals that makes the loudest noise in the forest. So we are waiting for these judges to give us the score.
Thank you so much, Dr. Caro. this session has been very interesting. Did you like it? So despite the challenges, we've made it to the finals. And you've all tried your best. So the Tourism Institute of East Africa, is that right? You got one sound right, and that is 1 point. Congratulations. Uganda Wildlife Research and Training Institute, you got 5 sounds right, and congratulations. Nkumba University, you got 4 sounds correct. So in that respect, we have Uganda Wildlife Research and Training Institute as number 1. Nkumba University number 2, and the Tourism Institute of East Africa as number 3. Congratulations, all of you.
So congratulations, everyone. I think you got the letter. We are expecting you on 3rd. The award giving ceremony is on Thursday. The award giving ceremony is going to be held here on the 3rd. That is on Thursday. So today you're not going with any gift, unfortunately. But we expect you here on 3rd to get your award, okay? All right. Thank you so much, and thank you, and we apologize for any inconveniences, but it was fun. This was supposed to be fun, okay? Yeah, so I'm happy you're finally happy, and congratulations, all of you.
The first, second, and third will all receive prizes. In the order, first prize is 2 million. Second prize is 1 million. Third prize is 500,000. Today we only have certificates, and then on Thursday we shall receive our prizes. Thank you very much for being part of us. Okay, on Thursday, the event starts at 9, and it will end at about 2. It is fine. Give you IDs. Those who want IDs and T-shirts, register to become members of Wildlife Clubs of Uganda. You already a member? Do you have a card? You already have a T-shirt? So those who do not have cards, it means that you're not members of Wildlife Clubs of Uganda. Inform your institution to register. Yeah. You have always been admitted on the first stage, and today you made it to the finals. It is great. Said my congratulations to Mr. Francis Muganga, and tell him we are very, very happy for the improvement.
you see that
Next
Look here, guys, look here.